Hello. This is a recorder, that's extra lazy. Before we start the making of, let me tell you two things. First of all, this shirt is not for sale because it's a very low quality print and also way too expensive for what you get. There's no web shop yet, maybe in the future. Also, I have a solution for my egghead. No more egghead. Looks nice, right? Looks nice, right? Looks nice, right? Anyway, let's start the making of. Well, first of all, you need a subject. In this case, an inkjet print.
What in the name of...
It's a so-called hyperzoom or infinite zoom. So it's not just one picture, it's the illusion of one picture. So I finally managed to print this one, and let's use this one to explain it. First of all, I take an extreme macro shot, like super close, 2 millimeters in the shot, and then a little less macro, that's the second photo, and then I take another photo, and then I have about 5 photos, of which the last one is this thing actually in the CD sleeve. And sometimes I even used a piece of video for the transition, which is of course even cooler. This is a nice shot, by the way, right? Just as nice as the previous shot. Now the boring part, a screen capture of making the animation. In post-production, I edit the raw files to match them as close as possible and export them as 16-bit TIFFs, which I will then import in Adobe After Effects. And now I start with the closest one. I just drag it in here. And that's it basically. Now there are some shortcuts that I'm using. Scaling it down to 50%. And now I drag in the second image. I lock this one. And now I have to find the middle point, which is now here. And now I just zoom it out until it matches. And rotate it as well. Now that I've matched the two, I drag this thingy to this thingy. And now when I change the size of that thingy, both pictures change size simultaneously. And then I take the third picture. I hide that one. Make this one 50% transparent. And let's zoom out some more. Yeah, something around there. And match up these two. You probably get where this is going. Great. Now I do it again. I drag this thingy and drag it again to the main one. So not to this one, but just to this one. And the same thing will happen again. I reduce the size and everything changes accordingly. Now we can also see that the exposure is still not perfect. We'll deal with that later. And there we are. Now it still looks a bit weird, of course. So let's add some masks. I tried 300 times and now it suddenly works. Oh, good. Anyway, I cut away the excess of the photo there now. What is this? Why does that exist? When did that happen? Go away. You can hear there's always some frustration involved. When I do this, it changes when I do that. But now everything else changes too. What the hell? No, don't select everything. Oh, the mask is gone. Why would I want to change the color by single clicking on that? It's not fun doing this. The end result is the only reason I'm doing this. Now I'm going to animate. For that, I add some automation here and there. Add keyframes there. And that's the end position. So let's get back to the start position. And now I say scale 100. Ba-boom! And now we can play around, huh? I think this is a nice starting position. And now it animates, but it animates in the wrong way. It starts off very slow. And then only at the very last moment, everything goes a million times too fast. In order to get the animation right, I click this graph editor here. Let's begin with the scale. Then I click this button over here and I click this. And then I drag this. And then it's already smoother. Okay, do the same with the position. I'm now going to add a position point. Adding keyframes there. And now I can just change the position. So it zooms more the way I want it to. Yes. This is nice. Good. Why this? Why are these two things not interlinked? It's impossible to make a smooth animation if they're not interlinked. It's absolutely outrageous. Now they're interlinked. If I click that, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, but there we go. So I have the exposure tool here. I drag it a little bit and now the exposure is correct. So the color is still off and that has to do with the color of the lens. Now we're going to add masks. I'm going to add a bigger mask to this because there's a gradient in the light. And gone is the border. Of course, the first render wasn't the correct render. I forgot to fade out the images, which is also something I do. We add an opacity keyframe. And then we add another opacity keyframe and now set it at 0. And again, I'll be doing the same for the other images. Okay, now I've faded out all the images. The render is finished. And now I just drag it into my editing software of choice, DaVinci Resolve. And it's also my grading software of choice. It's like 6 million times better than Adobe, whatever Adobe has ever come up with. I'm doing rudimentary grading here. for some reason it starts looking very purple here. So I guess I'll be adding some grading keyframes. Now it's good. I'd like the start of the animation to be a bit more severe as well. Oh, the video has ended. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. The blooper reel of a gag. Oh, the video. Oh no. Oh, my egghead, shit. Now I have to laugh because the way I reacted that it didn't go well. Right, whatever. Here we go again. Damn it! Come on! There's nothing funny here. Right.